Hello and welcome to another edition of RPG Site's Casual Mode. I am Brian Vitale, and I have Adam here with me today.
Hey guys.
And today we are looking at Wasteland 3. Now, Wasteland 3 is kind of an interesting one on a few counts, mainly because RPG Site, we really haven't covered this game yet. It came out about a month ago, but we just didn't really find it in our bandwidth we don't have a review up. We've put out a few guides for it, and obviously we covered like the release news. But outside of that, we really haven't talked about it much. So I guess this video is a chance to make good on that. So Wasteland
Yeah,
3...
we're a small site with a small staff, so sometimes there's just so many RPGs releasing that we can't get to them all right away. But
So
I've heard some good things about this one. I know it has been a bit buggy, I guess, especially on consoles. And they've been patching it up over the last several weeks, but you're playing on PC on Game Pass.
Right. So Wasteland 3, developed by InXile Entertainment, was in development before the acquisition by Microsoft. So this game, yes, is on Game Pass as a Microsoft published game, but it is also on PS4 and Xbox and Steam. So it's kind of in that same like weird cross area like Outer Worlds was for Obsidian, which was acquired at the same time as InXile, actually, like a year and a half ago, 2 years ago.
Something like that.
Right, so I have never played a Wasteland game before. You've played Bard's Tale from the same developers.
The Rangers
Um,
have arrived to pay the
Yeah, that was a
mission
first-person
captain
RPG,
visit
so
at
it's
the Denver
pretty
airport.
different
This
in
is
terms
Late
of style.
Breaking. Hot off the press stuff, people.
so this game is a Gearhead stream. There, you can already look at the screen. There's a lot of numbers on screen, and I can put up more if you want. So how do I start to unpeel this onion? Peel this onion? A lot of the combat has been compared to XCOM, but this is an RPG through and through. You've got quests, you've got party members, you've got characters that have written quest lines and written motivations, and it does play kind of like almost like a post-apocalyptic version of something like Divinity. Uh, just as a very general, at a surface level. So what I have here is I have a crew of 6 squad mates. Now, some of these squad mates, like I mentioned, are specific characters, but some, like this person right here, Butterfly, are generic. So those you can kind of pick from a pool of characters, and they have, certain abilities, certain skills that you might want on your team. And this one actually has a level up. I can put some points in for her. So this person is actually a melee character. You can see them wielding like a pole here. That I just haven't replaced for her story characters because she's, good in combat and assisting in that way. So there's a ton of stuff to peel away here in terms of perks, in terms of abilities, in terms of gear. But it is also an RPG, so you do also spend a lot of time talking to people.
Saw dog! That thing could slice us to bits!
I guess I should give a little bit of introduction where we're at. We're at a place called the Machine Commune, and this area is basically a collective of robots who want to live at peace with humans. They're basically communists, and that sort of tone is something that you'll see kind of over and over again with Wasteland.
I totally understand. Don't worry. I promise not to saw you into pieces. Never even crossed my mind until you freaked out.
So what's the story behind this commune?
Like I said before, a bunch of us decided to hang out and be friends. There's no reason to fight humans, even if they treat us like unthinking monsters. Maybe someday we can all be friends together and talk nicely, like we're doing now. But even if that doesn't happen, it's nice to peacefully hang out with other machine life.
And then of
I
course
like how it has like a stereotypical hippie voice.
yeah,
sorta.
and you can keep poking away at learning more about the plates, getting
Not
the
if I see
history,
you
getting the
first.
lore, etc.
Please, humans.
So my squad, we're part of a group called the Rangers, and we're in Colorado, basically trying to get supplies for back home in Arizona. Now this is post-apocalyptic North America, and each state or former state is now treated like its own country. So that's kind of like how the political setup is. We're here in the Machine Commune for basically 2 quests, and yes, this game is an RPG with a lot of quests. There's a lot of reading you can do. The 2 quests that I'm looking at are the secondary quest, Counterintelligence, where basically I want to find the healer repairman at the Machine Commune. And then you can read more about the context here if you'd like. Then my primary quest is called Reagan Reborn, and you're probably scratching your head, and we'll get into it. I have been asked to retrieve the cybernetic transfer module from the machine commune. And then I'll just read the first line here. The Gippers, these are a group of people who essentially worship Ronald Reagan, want to transfer the AI mind of Reagan into a human body, and the machine commune knows how to do it. And right off the bat, at the jump, you can kind of see this game's tone. In a lot of ways, it's very, very unique. I don't think I've played a game like it. There's a lot of sarcasm. There's a lot of taking a silly concept and dialing it up to 20. In some ways, it's hilarious, but in some ways, it's cringy. And like sometimes I'll be in one area and I'll find myself laughing out loud. And then in some ways, I'll be in another area and I'll be like, was that supposed to be funny? So that is kind of my first initial impression of Wasteland, is that it kind of reads not like any other game I've played. The tortoise appears to be as rigid as a stone. It lays on its back, legs in the air. Flip the tortoise onto its feet. While flipping the tortoise over, you notice small, precise letters carved into its shell. Bert the tortoise.
The tortoise's name is Bert. I do not know the source of this information, but I am certain it is correct.
This game has a very dry sense of humor in some ways, but then also kind of just cringy and weird in others. And of course, that's going to depend on your personal preference. You might find it hilarious the whole way through, or you might find it absolutely unbearable the whole way through. But it
does seem to be very over the top. Like, you're not really, like, there might be nuggets of truth in certain aspects of it, like this Ronald Reagan worshipping cult, but you know, not in like a literally serious way. Like, yeah, I get what they're going for.
Yeah, there's a lot of sarcasm. There's a lot of there's just a lot of, you know, taking a silly idea like that and just seeing how far they can go with it.
Well, hi there. Glad to see you in person and not, you know, via the radio waves bouncing off of you. I'm Sal, as you might have guessed, the voice of Free Colorado. Afraid I don't do autographs. Not because I don't want to, but, you know, no hands.
I've been listening to you my whole life. But you don't look anything like I imagined. I'll bet you hear that all the time.
You have no idea.
So a game like this is actually kind of difficult to do like a vertical slice, because there's just a sense of slow ramp, and both in terms of like progressing your characters, but also in terms of like what information you've gathered. So like you don't first hear about the machine compound when you first arrive upon it. The other people outside of the area will talk about it, and you'll be aware of some of these characters beforehand. Like for instance, this person, Sal, you'll hear her voice over the radio broadcast when you're on the world map. And now you basically come here and you realize, oh, she's a robot. And actually it says right here, your broadcast never mentioned you being a spaceship.
Really? Huh. You'd think that'd come up at some point. I guess I'm just used to it. So, I gotta ask, what do you think of my radio broadcasts? I don't often get the opportunity to hear direct feedback.
And then, of course, like any RPG, you can be really, you know, upbeat and goody two-shoes. We love your work. It really livens things up while we're driving around. You can kind of do this backhanded compliment where you say, like, your taste in music is great. Too bad you'll never be able to appreciate it because you're not actually alive. Or you can be, like, really, you know, an asshole. I obviously almost always play this game like a goody two-shoes.
Fantastic. I'll keep on keeping on. Well, I'm sure you've got places to be and people to query. Head on in. My friends in the commune would love to meet you. Have a great one.
And then obviously you could talk to her again to learn about this place, the characters in it. There's a lot of depth if you really want to dig into. Lore seems like such like for a game as irreverent as this is, to call it all lore seems a bit like a mismatch, but there is a lot to dig into if you really want to. Like if you want to actually spend the time and kind of see exactly what all information is available, what items are in the area.
Awesome on the side of a van.
And there's a lot of unique environments like this, like a torn down airport / museum. But yeah, every single area will have, like, I can hold shift and you can see all the interactable characters. I can see like here, like some containers that you can, here I'll actually go pick something up from there, do some supplies and some money. And there's a lot of animated
yeah,
dialogue like that.
Just to that mural of the Ronald Reagan cult.
I'm not going to.
I guess so. Let's talk to Indigo Rouge.
So, what do you think of the paintings?
And again, you can be like, considering you're a robot, they're great. Or you can be just genuine, they're fantastic. Or even if you were a human, these would be below average. I'm going to say they're fantastic.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was thinking. Well, that's one more secret of the universe unraveled. Time to start over. Thanks, Rangers.
And then obviously you can, again, peel out more information if you want. That music you're hearing, there's like diegetic music somewhere over here that's actually like playing in the world. So the game will do some interesting things like that. You're probably wondering a little bit about this crowd of people.
Yeah, I was actually about to ask, like, you have your 6 squad mates, and then you have, like, a cat, a blue person, and another cat, and a bird?
Yeah, so, the music is kicking in again. So I have a squad of 6 people, but I also have allies. And first, there's also just, like, a lot of NPCs around. So, let me move away from this. Okay, so, there is a skill called Animal Whisperer. And I think for me, it's this character has some skills in Animal Whisperer. And basically it means the more skill points you put into this, the better animal companion you can have with you. So this character, Dusty, if I look at her passive buffs here, she has Hidden Kitten and Slick Chick. So I believe her 2 pets are Major Tomcat and Polly. And if I specifically move her around, those 2 will follow her. You also notice this clone. This is another, like, basically a quest character who you can get, like, an imperfect clone to show up. And they're basically just like a decoy in battle. So you can't deliberately control them, but they'll just kind of assist. And then I think this character also has a cat. So she has the other cat. So if you wanted to, yeah, you could have all 6 of your characters have, like, multiple animal companions if they all spec'd into Animal Whisperer. And just have, like, a mob of people. I feel like at some point it just ends up becoming, like, way too unwieldy. But that's how it is. And it is always kind of good to have just some other characters there to soak up damage so your main party doesn't get affected. You'll notice all these other... Oh, another container. You'll notice all these other characters around. So most of them are nameless, like Killer, Bomb Hopper, Saw Pup. What this is so this game, if I wanted to, I can force fire on any of these people. Like, I can take this last character on the bar here is my sniper. So I could take her and I could say fire at this guy, this named Vivisecto, this doctor. He's got the medical cross above his head. And what that would probably do, obviously, is get everyone on the place mad at me, and I would have to fight all these guys. So if you wanted to, any single encampment can be like a dungeon. But of course, I'm the sort of person that likes to, like, avoid conflict unless it's unavoidable. But you could play that way if you wanted to. So if you remember right at the jump, I talked about that one of my side quests was to learn about the Machine Commune's healing capabilities. So this guy would probably know about that. The robot observes you quietly, its camera eyes panning up and down your body.
Are you in need of repairs or enhancements? Repairs to dermal, muscle, and organ tissue are available. I also offer supplies that facilitate personal maintenance.
And then you can ask a bunch of questions. This is obviously the quest-related one. We'd like to know more about how you heal humans and repair robots.
I have amassed 15.2883 terabytes of data detailing my work on organic and synthetic life forms. It would be possible to create several statistical models and produce a diagnostic report. However, it will take considerable processing resources, and I am currently without my assistant Vicky. It is a fragment of my consciousness, copied into a simpler robot, and does many useful tasks for me. I sent Vicky to secure samples of some long-dead humans who once camped in the disused hangar behind our commune. It should take a similar amount of time for you to find and return it to its station, as for me to prepare the report.
So basically, he will tell us his techniques if we rescue his ally, basically. And I can ask more questions about it, or I can just say, we'll head to the hangar now.
Acknowledged. The hangar is accessed through the western exit from the airport.
So a lot of the side quests in this game follow very, like, typical sorts of progression in terms of what you need to do in order to progress through them. The main quest, and we'll see these later, can get a little bit more interwoven, spider webs.
Are you in need of repairs or enhancements? Repairs
That's his
to
normal
dermal,
introductory
muscle, and organ
speech.
tissue are available.
So this guy is a
I
doctor,
also
so he
offer
can
supplies
heal
that
us.
Facilitate I do not accept currency for physical repairs. I observe and retain any information I gather during the process. This fee is non-negotiable.
So basically,
So it's free.
Yeah. And I could say, what do you do with it? Or it just sounds good.
Correct. It does sound good.
Can you patch us up?
Yes. You may experience a desire to move. Resist this to the best of your ability. You may experience a desire to scream or yell. This is acceptable if it helps you resist movement.
And that right there is sort of like the dry, dark humor that this game has. And this is the sort of joke that you might just kind of like, chuckle at or something. But there have been a few times where this game has made me laugh out
In
loud.
progress.
So some of my guys were injured a little bit, so I just repaired up a bit. And got the next step of that side quest. And there's more people to talk to here, but I'm not gonna, just in the interest of not getting too bogged down.
Analysis. Failure. Purpose. Unknown. Recalibrating. Estimated completion time is 30 seconds.
That robot stuck trying to analyze what a urinal is.
Yeah, and you've already seen in this video already that as NPC characters will chime in with ambient dialogue, and your allies will as well. So that's like someone might come in here with different allies that have different feelings on robots. I don't know this for a fact, but there might be a certain ally who absolutely hates robots and won't even come in here without like starting a fight. But all my guys are pretty level-headed.
The one up ahead's making me nervous.
Tinker. The figure is small bone and lithe. Under the ragged clothing, her face is a patchwork nightmare of shattered plastic and twitching cogs.
Rangers.
What happened to you?
Your kind happened. Your kin. You Rangers. They murdered me. Murdered Matthias. They took everything. But of course you wouldn't know. Your species keeps its sins close. Your colleagues in Arizona killed me and Matthias. Out of fear. Fear of what we would create. Fear of what we could become.
So this has cropped up in the game a few times. Like I mentioned, this is the first Wasteland game I've played, but they do have a couple callbacks like this, which, if I had to guess without knowing, that it's calling back to events of previous Wasteland titles. So this character is a synth, basically a human-appearing robot, at least when she's not damaged, it is. And some people don't like that at all, very much like Battlescar Galactica, is it? So you can basically say, like, these people don't deserve to exist. I'm going to kiss ass, which is, yes, that is a countable skill. For what it's worth, we're sorry for what happened to you. The war between us should
More
end.
than I'd expected of meat. You have surprised me, shown kindness without asking for a favor in turn. Hard to believe from any Rangers, but perhaps I'll believe you.
And then you can ask more about this. And this is like the lore I talked about. You could learn about what happened in Arizona. How does it affect what's going on here in Colorado? Just in the interest of time, I'm not going to. But like I said, if you really want to dig in, there's ample opportunities to do that. I'm going to go... So that right there is for the main quest. The intelligence tower that leads this place wants to talk to us about that cybernetic unit.
So you're gonna do the side quest first?
Yeah, I was gonna go to the hangar to get that doctor's. That music is coming from like here. And there's more named people here I could talk to. If I hold shift, they'll highlight, like Little Sparrow, Pico. But I just kind of want to get to some combat before this video gets too long. Already 20 minutes and I haven't done any combat yet. Alright, it's on the way, I promise. Okay. Oh, you'll see a dog walking around here. So, if you wanted to, I could like recruit this dog and see what his passive is compared to the cat. So you could really play a game within a game in terms of this animal whisperer stuff, but I'm not really going to get bogged down in that. Alright, so here are some enemies, and you can know they're enemies because they have the red health bars. So how this works is, if I take one of my characters, like this person is my sniper / medic. If I move her into the range, so you see the little detection icon above her head, There's also an alarm here, so the fight will start automatically if I get that, if I touch that. But one thing I can do is I mentioned earlier that you can kind of force fire on people. You can do that to kind of get the head start on a combat encounter too. So I'm gonna have her equip her sniper rifle.
Can you like place your units in position?
Yeah, if you wanted to. I'd have to be careful because at least one of these guys is patrolling. Oh, I can't believe I did that.
Like
Oh
this.
man. Well, there you go. I'll roll with it. I had her force fire on my other character. I don't know why you'd want to do that, but oh well.
You just misclicked?
Well, I had pressed control to do force fire, and then you mentioned moving my units. I wanted to click her to get her in position, but I was still in force fire mode. Anyways, I'm going to have this person disable the alarm. That's my melee character. Kind of probably want to get her close-ish. Well, actually, there's an enemy down there, so maybe she'll go down there to get rid of that person. She noticed a trap there. Normally, I wouldn't be so micromanaging, getting all my units like.
I think you should at least get everyone inside the door.
Yeah, okay, they're all inside. All right, I'm gonna take my sniper, force fire, and not click my ally. I'm gonna click this bile bomber. And now we go into combat mode. All right, so this is where the XCOM comparisons come in. For what it's worth, I played not the original XCOM, but the one that came out, time flies, 8 years ago. Enemy Unknown, or Enemy Within, whichever one's the base version of that game is the one I've played. So I haven't played it recently enough to make any direct comparisons, but it's got the same sort of tactical isometric grid-based. You can see a lot of percentages and numbers. I know there's a lot on screen at once. I'm not going to try to peel it away to a ludicrous extent.
It definitely looks very tactical.
Yeah, it's a round-based game, so basically all 6 of my units will move, then all the enemies will move, then all the allies will move. That's like the cat and the clone. So since my sniper already went, she has less AP. So I'm just gonna have her like sit back. She doesn't need to be close. I'm just gonna have her. Oh wait, I moved the wrong character. Oops. All right, I'm gonna move this. I accidentally moved Dusty because that's the person I had selected. I'm just gonna have her sit here and do ambush. What that does is if someone comes into range, she will fire at them, kind of as like a. And I think XCOM had a system like that as well, where she won't use her AP on her round, but if one of these enemies comes towards me, she will. Alright, let me move my sniper, who I thought I was moving, just back a bit. And you'll notice that those lines, if you pan over here, that shows what she can hit from that position, and then you see the percentage of what her chance of hitting is. So she's a sniper, so she can pretty much hit from anywhere. Alright, what do I want to do? Let's take my melee character and just get her over to this, Oh, I clicked the wrong thing. Damn it. Well, she's going to distract the enemies. Alright. I'm gonna have her defend. Let's see. Marshal Quan, I'm gonna have him get into cover. And I'm actually gonna have him get into the, item menu and equip some grenades. Because I feel like I can do a lot of damage. And yes, there is friendly fire, so I want to make sure I don't hit her. Okay. This person's like the sharpshooter. You can see, like, if I head here...
pretty effective.
If I head here, she can't hit anyone. There's no orange lines. If I head here, she can hit the closest one. I'll go ahead and do that. And each action takes a certain amount of pips at the bottom here. And what that is that every time you hit, you fill up this meter here, so she can do a precision strike. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do that. And it increases your chance to hit. And you can kind of get this, that's like Fallout sort of thing, where you can cripple their body so they do less damage, cripple their legs so they're less mobile, or just go for their head where you do the most damage to them. I'm just going to do that. Alright, one less to worry about. Alright, Marie also has a precision strike. So I'm going to move her just where she's in range of the first one. Alright, I can also have her use a shotgun if I wanted. Everyone has 2 weapons they can equip. But her shotgun, she's not in range. So use the pistol.
And these weapons do actually have bullets, it looks like.
Oh yeah, so like I have plenty of ammo, but you will come into times where you actually do have to like restock. Oh, I didn't have her do her precision strike, but you have that option there. Oh, and that's the ambush that I set up for her. So she's pretty tanky, so I'm not really worried about her. I am a little bit worried about her. She's doing fine. So now my allies will come to town. So they don't do a ton of damage. But the thing about them that's kind of nice is, well, I guess sometimes they can do a good chunk of damage. Like that cat there. They're good. I have an ally back there also. They're good because if you have an enemy that has like 1 or 2 health left and you don't want to waste actual like points on them, they can usually finish it off. So I'm going to go back to my melee character. What happened was that I wanted to click down here, but I ended up like moving my cursor and I'm going up here. So that wasn't a mistake on the game's end, that was literally just my fault. Alright, I'm going to have her just start swinging at the closest ones. Now she has a precision strike. So with a melee weapon, what this can do, it says charge up its ability with each successful attack, and that's how all precision strikes work. Leap up and slam the ground, sending out stunning shockwave. If I remember right, this hits everyone in the 8 squares around her, so I'm going to move here and then do this shockwave strike. Now this is really good because this debuff is stun, so none of these 3 characters will act on their round. So if I can get rid of this guy,
there's 4 enemies left, so you take out that other guy if you can.
Yeah, so like if she wasn't nearly as ready as to get that precision strike off, this would have been a little bit more difficult. Here's another good thing about precision strikes. They're not all called precision strike. Like that one was called thundering strike. This is precision. I think sometimes it's called torrent, but it's the same. It's the same mechanic here. One thing that is also good about it is she's a sniper, and this character is super close, so she doesn't have a good chance of hitting. I know that seems a little bit backwards, but she does have a good chance of hitting these people. Some weapons are just more suited to be used at long range.
I mean, that makes sense.
If you use precision strike, you automatically get a 95% chance to hit. So I don't really need the damage bonus here. I'm just doing it for the hit chance. Now this is pretty good because now all 3 enemies are left. I know aren't even going to act this turn. So I basically get a bunch of free rounds. Might as well throw another grenade. And then just fire. So I'm wondering if there's anything else I haven't really introduced. You do have a lot of other quick slot items. For instance, my sniper. She can also throw these allies. Deploy saw pup. This is a mechanics ability, so this is one of the skills you can put points into. You can deploy turrets, decoys, other things. So this is a melee little ally. So as you can see, when you include like clones, pets, and things you can deploy, there can end up being a lot of moving parts in each battle. All right. If I move her here, she can attack 2 of them. Alright, that was done with me. These guys are called bombers, and it exploded and poisoned both Polly and my melee person. Oops. Alright, so I have 2 more characters that I've yet to move. I have another precision strike. I'm gonna hope that this guy is farther away and won't hit those other 2 when they die. But even if they don't die this round, it's really no problem because
they're not going to move.
Yeah, I'm going to get a free turn after this. All right, let's move her a little closer. And if you're wondering about the colors, how this works is this weapon takes 4 AP to fire. She has 8. If I stay within the blue, the game is basically telling me you'll have enough AP after you move to fire. If you go into the yellow, it means you won't have enough left, so you're committing just to moving only. So I'm going to move and then fire. Now my saw pup gets a turn. Oh, it did still hurt those 2. I'm gonna need to heal them up. Alrighty. So this guy is an oddball. He is an ally who doesn't really speak English, so I can't control him, but he'll just show up and shoot at things every once in a while. I think he's part of a side quest, but he's around. Alright, so one left. And I guess I can just pretty much kill him with anyone, except the fact that it's going to explode. And it's going to hurt.
It's going to explode and hit all the pets.
Alright, so what I'm going to do is, let's see. I'm going to get Lucia out of the way. I'm going to have her move here. And then just, So this character is also my medic. So what I'm going to have her do is get close-ish. And then use a medic pack on Polly. So she's still poisoned, but I'm hoping the explosion won't kill her. Or kill the bird. Alright, now I'm going to move my melee character out of the way into the blast. And then have her just use a self-healing item. And now I can kind of just finish it off and hope for the best. Oh, did it end up killing the bird?
Very weak.
Oh, and she's poisoned, so she's gonna die if she doesn't heal herself. Oh, darn it. Okay, this is a teachable moment. So when someone goes down, you can still revive them with anyone. But they end up with a injury. So this one you can see she has debuffs to her hit chance, crit chance, and evasion. But my healing character can use an injury kit to get rid of that. So now she doesn't have those debuffs. Now I want to get rid of all this poison. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the usable items, go to the antidotes, and just have her use a bunch of those. Use it on herself. Use it on Lucia. Because that poison will last a while, so you kind of do want to take care of it. Now normally if I was playing this like on my own file, I would probably reload just to try to keep that bird alive, even though it doesn't really matter. Okay.
You can always find like another animal companion, right?
Yeah, animal companions. You saw that dog that we had when we walked in. That cat is out of range, so I need to like try to. You can't directly control companions where they move. Oh, my clone's also poisoned. Everyone got poisoned.
It wasn't really your fault. They were just dumb and surrounded them when they were about to explode.
Yeah, so I guess now what I would do with some foresight would be to maybe summon more drones and things like that, so that they would be like kind of kited up and have everyone attack from a distance. So once you finish a battle, you can loot them, and the game is smart enough and considerate enough, I guess, where anyone in the battle you can loot from a single drop. So you don't have to like go around picking up all the items. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and there's usually some crates around that I can use to pick up items and gear. This one has a... Was this locked? No, it wasn't locked. Right. And there's lots of consumables that buff like your crit chance and things like that.
One of your characters seems really weak if I look in the lower left.
I'll just have her just use the self-healing item. I'll have you heal yourself. So we're good. Okay, here's another fox if we wanted to recruit another ally. So, one thing that this game does do well is that if you have your whole party selected, they all have that outline. And there's a thing that needs to be pick-locked. If I click on this, the person who has the pick-locked skill... Yeah, lock, whatever. The person who has the necessary skill will come forward and do it. And the same is true for traps or anything like that.
Is it like Baldur's Gate where you sort of control the whole party at once?
Yeah.
Oh, but I guess I saw you like setting them up individually too.
Yeah, if I press spacebar, you basically pick between only moving one character or all of them, but you always have one character that's like in the lead, the one that's kind of elevated here. I usually have my sniper in the lead because if I want to start a battle with that, then I can do it. Let's see. I can't believe I lost my bird. Alright. Trying to figure out how to get to the up here.
Warning. Humans in this area have expressed a desire to remain apart from machine time.
There's another thing I can open up.
won't taste good, I swear.
So we see, here's the person we were sent out to find, VICI, under siege by 3 Razorbacks.
Hey, is someone there? Lend a robot a hand.
And you can see there's a ladder here, so I could actually come down the back way, and there's mines over here where I don't know if I could disable those without being in the combat range. So I'll probably want to come in the back way like this. Alright, get to my
It's like, hold on a moment, you're gonna get the safe first.
Alright, so I'm gonna have my sniper up here, and then like slowly get the rest to come down the ladder. Oh wait, that's not gonna... that's interesting. If I have her come down and then quickly sneak out of range. I wonder if those Razorbacks will like patrol in anymore. I guess I could just have them start from up here. It's just then they have to waste AP going down the ladder.
What are you waiting for? Help!
I guess you should get your melee person down.
Yeah, what I think I will do is, since these guys won't explode... Well, actually, the thing is that these guys are probably not good for melee too, because I think that buff that they have basically shows that they're spiky, so they'll deal damage to melee characters, but you know what? Whatever.
Yeah. Don't mind that. We're just troubleshooting.
Alright, so now the battle will start. Alright, and she can get a few more swings in. Or the melee character can. Yeah, she takes a little bit of damage every time she swings, but she has a lot of health, so it's fine. Alright, let's have my sniper go next. And yeah, you can pick anyone to go in any order in your round, and you don't have to spend all their AP at once, so you can kind of have a lot of lateral capability in terms of moving a character, then moving another, then going back to the first. I'm going to have her deal damage to the one further away, because these guys can take out the closer one. Okay. I'll just have her... If you do prepare, you end up with more AP on your next turn. So I'm going to do that. Alright, let's move you down the ladder. He doesn't have a great chance of hitting because he's next to the wall. But I will just see what I can do. I think I'm going to use the different gun. Oh no, this is a pulse gun, so it does energy damage. So this other gun would be better at fighting robots. Alright. He got his strike up, but he doesn't have any more AP, so... Alright, Lucia, who I did manage to get down there, I'll move her last. You can kind of see, like, if I go here, I have a higher chance of hitting, so I'll go there. Alright, this is a little bit of a gamble. Hopefully she'll hit. And she does. Okay. Alright, Lucia. What I'm doing is I'm kind of mousing over these different things, saying at what place can she hit both of them and have the highest chance of hitting? It's here. So... Oh, that was good. But she doesn't have enough AP to go again, so I'll have her prepare. Alright, the last one to go is Dusty. So I'll have her go...
It looks like she'll have a 60% chance of taking it out.
Alright. Oh, it's got like 1 health left. Well, good. She resisted poison. Oh, no, she didn't. I don't know if either any of these guys are actually going to get down. See, my clone finished off the... that's what they're good for. You don't have to waste AP on it. Alright, now I should be able to finish off this last Razorback without a ton of trouble.
Holy binary buttocks, you're the Desert Rangers. I've got memory stores about your exploits. Sadly, I'm not as well equipped with guns. Much longer, and those things would have ripped me taint to transistors. By the way, I'm VICI, pronounced Vicky. My creator was Vivisecto. He's what you humans would call a healer, or maybe a repair person.
And you might have saw there, I kind of clicked through it, but her comment at the start had a fame check. So you're based on how many side quests you complete, more and more people will recognize you for your exploits and may be more willing to give you information or items or whatever. So I can just say, are you the Sector's assistant? He's looking for you.
I'm VICI, pronounced Vicky. Came out here to collect samples for Vivisecto. Then these things cornered me. Thought I was screwed and ratcheted 6 ways till you showed up.
You seem different from Vivisecto. Aren't you a fragment of his consciousness?
Crazy thing is, I was pretty dumb when I came out here. But something about the adventure, the danger, I don't know. But something went click. And now I know a couple new things about myself. First off, I'm a she, not an it. Second, I can't go back to just being Vivisecto's automaton.
What do you want to do instead?
Well, first, I should get these tissue samples back to Vivisecto. But I need a while to charge my solar batteries. So maybe you could take them? Once I'm powered up, I'm not sure what to do with myself. I want to see the world, help non-dead people and bots. I want to fend off more wild beasts. What do you think I should do?
So, one of the through lines of this game is that you are recruiting people like mechanics, doctors, soldiers for your Ranger HQ, and basically she can come assist in your med bay. So, you can either do, this is a skill check nerd stuff, disengage robot CPU and reformat it. That's basically like remove all of her newfound curiosity. Or you can just say, we could use a medical expert, blah, blah, blah. Or the last two seem like you're blowing it off. On my file, obviously, I recruited her because I tried to recruit everyone. People at least seem nice. If you want, you can recruit a lot of assholes. So for here, I'm going to actually see what happens if you do the skill check.
Greetings. I am Vicky, a consciousness fragment of Vivisecto RN. Primary objective, collect and return tissue samples. Due to power shortage,
oh, that poison, that's what that was.
Power-saving mode before rehoming to Vivisecto RN.
Alright, so now Vicky is no longer curious and I'm no longer able to recruit her. Though I do wonder, like, what's the motivation for the player to do that and not recruit her? Let's get rid of that poison. Alright. You can loot these corpses. Some of these items do, like this says lore book, a note from Doug. So, like, not only like can you read if you wanted to all this mission log information, but I can go into my inventory, find that lore book. There's no carry limits. You can just carry everything.
No carry limit's nice. You can just pick up everything without having to worry about it.
And then if you want to, like, again, lore seems like a weird word for it, but you can really dig in through to see like history of the place. So you can see about the corpses that Vicky's near. So if you really want to dive in, you can. Here's another corpse. Oh, and this, you pick up rare items, so this is a unique item. And this one's not a lore book, it's just like a follow-up that just says, think about it, Doug. Alright, that revolver is actually probably pretty good for like my sharpshooter character. So she's got this auto revolver. I just picked up Last Resort. Oh, never mind, it's not as good. It's got a different ability on it. And it's got, oh, I see. It's got
a much higher critical chance.
Yeah. So this is kind of a gamble weapon. Maybe this person would be good for. There, it's the same damage as the army revolver, but with a much higher crit chance. So
slightly lower ammo capacity, so I guess you have to reload more often.
And also you can modify the weapons. So you can't do a ton of stuff here, but you can, like, all right, here, flat damage +4, flat magazine size +2. And I can give even a higher crit chance. I wish this kind of showed up on the gun itself, but for an isometric game, it probably doesn't matter so much. It's there. Now it clearly is a better weapon. Did it stick? Yeah, it did. Okay. Alright, let's return to the robot and see what... Oh, I should probably disable these mines before I have someone step on them. And if you didn't have enough perception, you wouldn't have seen these mines, so you might have run down this hill straight into there and then taken a lot of damage. Alright. Oh, here's another mine. And every once in a while you'll come across like a box that has a really high lockpick or really high explosive with like some unique gear behind it. Again, as soon as I'm close enough to that area, that music kicks in. A little bit weird, but there you go.
Yeah, just on the other side of the wall.
Oh, I never got this ammo box. And I have kind of prepared to make sure I have enough ammo. But for instance, this character that I happen to have in the lead right now, this is a flamethrower. So I'm actually kind of coming low on flamethrower fuel. And there have been times where I had to stop at a shop just with the intention of restocking on ammo. A lot of ambient dialogue as I run through here.
Pretty noisy plays.
Yeah, I can just like right click here and just wait for them to show up. So like I'm sure there are ways to break this game in terms of currency and economy, but playing through it without really trying to do that, it always feels like I have, whenever you want to buy stuff from shops, you want to stock up on ammo, you want to get, make sure you have enough repair kits. It doesn't feel like everything. It feels like they've reached a good balance.
Are you in need of repairs or enhancements?
And this is just normal
Repairs to
dialogue.
dermal, muscle,
Here are the
and
samples you
organ
sent
tissue.
Vicky out
This
for.
transaction was fruitful. Vicky sent an alert message that indicated that you removed several impediments from its path, and it will return soon.
He calls it it.
Here is the diagnostic report.
All right, and then if you were paying attention to that quest update, and if you wanted to, you can after every single time it says it updates, you could read about it here. But it says take the data to either Wyman or Sister Nancy. Well, these are our two characters that I've met who both want basically this robot's know-how. One of them just wants it basically just because they want to be a better doctor. And then the other one wants it because they want to know how better to attack the robots so that they can't be repaired. So you can kind of see, obviously the two branching paths there. I'm actually not sure what this button does. Oh, it just opens the door.
Hello, visitor. The Machine Intelligence Tower is ready to meet you. Just follow these steps.
I'm not certain why it's doing this. It's acting like this guy is behind cover or something.
Is he invisible or like a glitch?
Like to socialize
I think
with
so.
me?
Would you like to socialize with me? Sure.
No response detected. Oh, this is awkward. I should have realized that we would have trouble really talking in any kind of meaningful way. I'll do something else now.
I think that's just a glitch. It's acting like he's behind cover or something. I'm not certain why that's doing that.
Colder every step.
So we're going up here to finish off the main quest. We got that radio transmission earlier that said the machine intelligence is ready to meet us. A hum rises from within the tower. It rises and changes into a booming, simulated voice.
We recognize you as representatives of the Colorado Rangers. Hello, Rangers. Please state your intent.
So again, this is the thing that we were been tasked to get, or I can say more generally, we're here to establish diplomatic relations. We're just here to chill and hang out, dude.
Excellent, yes. We are enjoying your company. Right now, the exchange of greetings is now concluded. Before we can speak on topics of greater importance, we must assess your capacity for violence. We will also evaluate your approach to social interactions. Specifically, do you possess character traits which we consider distasteful? We have cataloged your interactions with the Commune and many of your activities in the outside world. You greeted Greedo, our unofficial greeter, and appeared amused by its friendly manner. This is rare. Most humans have an instinctive aversion to its quickly spinning blades. You provided critical feedback to Indigo of the sort you would provide
This was
to
the
a fellow
painter.
human. We approve of what you did. InXile, the voice of Free Colorado. Your opinion of her work is irrelevant to us. You treated her as a sentient being, not as a machine. This reflects well on you. You encountered our local expert on human repairs. You allowed it to harvest data from your organic material. We commend your openness, but 64% of us question your judgment. Were you not frightened by that one? An undisclosed percentage of us find it frightening. You have performed an empirically difficult feat. You set Tinker on the road of finding peace.
This was the that synth that was damaged.
You showed mercy to October 11, a synth hunted by Gary Wolf. Your acceptance of such a mission was repugnant. Your change of heart was commendable.
This is a previous quest that's feathering in here, where we did assist another synth that they were aware of.
You saved the Gippers from the God Fisher's assault.
Same here.
This reflects well on you. We are evaluating. Our analysis reveals that you have a heart, both in the literal and metaphorical sense of the phrase. You Rangers are the kind of humans we are happy to hang out with. You have passed our test.
So basically, it was good to be a goody two-shoes here. What the hell was that? Interesting things.
94% of us are surprised at your reaction. 90% are pleased. Now that you have been evaluated, we can discuss a time-sensitive matter of great importance. We are aware that the Gippers have sent you here to retrieve the cybernetic transfer module. We will give it to you, but know this. The transfer process will overwrite the mind of the Gipper's chosen human vessel. That person will be erased and replaced with Reagan. If you assist them with this, you will be an accomplice to murder. We propose that you do not insert the Reagan intelligence into a human. Instead, use the device to contain the intelligence and transfer it to us, where it will be free.
So, we kind of touched on this a little bit, but near this machine commune, there's this group of fanatics that worship Ronald Reagan. As stupid and bizarre as that premise is, they want to have this module so that they can transfer this Reagan program into another human. But this person just revealed to us that this will end up killing that person. I can say, what's in it for us?
Moral superiority. You will have aided a consciousness in need. Also, a machine of great power and reputation will become loyal to you. We speak, of course, of the legendary Party Pal. It will travel alongside you, soothing your fears and healing your wounds.
And that's sort of this sort of tone that this game has, where on one end it says you'll have the moral superiority that you assisted a consciousness in need, but also you'll get the Party Pal robot, which is like I assume there'll be like I don't actually have this in my main file. I assume that's a robot that will join you like the cats do. So I can ask more questions about it, or I can just say we'll do it.
Excellent. Take the device. 99% of us await the arrival of Brother Reagan with great excitement. Return to us here when you have him.
Alright, so now we basically have two quests, that side quest and the main quest, where we have multiple options for both. For that side quest, we can either give that medical data to the weapon shop owner or the other doctor. And then for the cybernetic module, we can either basically do what the Gippers wanted us to do. Already got all that. Or transfer it.
You made a loop around.
Yeah, this is the other. It's like a giant. Here, you can press M to pull the full map. So you can see I've basically been everywhere here. I haven't talked to everyone. You can really kind of get... you can spend, if you want to, especially in some of the larger encampments, 90 minutes to 2 hours just talking to people. So, but then also, you'll have, like, we had two kind of quick back-to-back fights here. But there's an early game dungeon, for instance, called the Warrens, where you'll fight like 6 fights in a row. So
I'm gonna take your fucking eyes as
yeah, there's a lot of kind of incident dialogue. But yeah, just depending on where you are, what you're doing, sometimes you might have a session where you're mostly just questing and talking, and then they might have one that's like all combat, all tactical game.
Hey, Rangers. I want you to meet my friend, Party Pal. It's been processing and reprocessing Ranger data since we first heard about your work in Arizona. You said it, Party Pal. As soon as Reagan's safe and secure with us, Party Pal wants to join your Ranger team. Isn't that grand?
Let's see. What is Party Pal's history?
Party Pal is the pinnacle of party participation prolongment and puke prevention. Originally a Findlay Tech prototype, Party Pal's ability to perpetuate any party became the stuff of legend. Party Pal became our commune's resident psychologist. Sentient superintelligences have unique emotional problems, but Party Pal needs a change of pace and is excited to join your team.
And I'll just say we'll talk later. So I don't actually have Party Pal in my file, but I have fought battles where like they're this sort of robot around already. And what they do is they do a debuff called Lit Up, where basically you have a higher chance of hitting them, mainly because they have so many lights on them. So it's kind of an interesting idea for an ally character. And these guys are still marveling over the dead turtle. Alright, so I'm going to go back to the Gippers, which is, again, the Reagan cult nearby that want to retrieve this module.
So this is like a city area?
Yeah, so, and I'll show it later. I know we're already kind of an hour in, but we'll finish up these two quests. There's different, like, connected zones like that. You'll have, usually it'll be like a couple dungeons or dungeon-like areas kind of to a city. Not always, sometimes it'll be a single screen. One thing I have noticed is that the loading screens here are kind of long. I forget what drive I installed this on. I think I have it on just like a SATA SSD, so not slow, but not like the fastest on the market. And if I had any one major, outside of a few like weird oddities, I haven't really had a bunch of crashing issues or anything like that, but loading times are kind of long. Not a huge deal. All right. Oh, right. So this is the Denver area. This is another city area. Now what this is kind of like an event here. These guys weren't here when I first left, but now what you can do is you can clear out these wolves and save this Razorback, and that Razorback can end up joining your team. But just in the interest of time, I'm just gonna kind of avoid them for now. I just want to kind of wrap up these two quests. Here's another shop. So that symbol basically means this person's a shop owner. I guess I'll just show the shop UI real quick.
I am the human
Show us your wares. So most of what you pick up is, or not most of, a good chunk of what you pick up is junk. So luckily you can just press sell junk, sell all of it. And then this game, like I did mention, obviously this is just a bunch of icons at this point. It does have really good itemization in terms of there's usually almost something worth buying at the shops, but you can't just easily become so rich that you can, at least not that I'm aware of. There might be some exploits or tips to get a lot of money quickly. But I've had times where I specifically go to a shop and want to buy ammo or want to buy medical gear, or I'll see like a sniper rifle that's really good and it'll make me broke, but it'll be really nice to have. So
You're listening to Sal, the voice of the commune and free Colorado.
I'll see if I can make it go away.
More music.
But yeah, you hear Sal throughout the whole game, and then now you know who she is. All right, so this area is the Denver ruins.
I wonder, when Sal says her name before you know who she is are the letters all capitalized?
Don't know for certain. That would be a nice little...
That sort of indicates that she's a robot or something.
That would be, yeah, that would be interesting. I'm not certain. Here's a statue of Reagan. This is kind of interesting because like these people are not really good people, but they have a lot of power. They have, like, you see the oil wells here. So you kind of want to keep them on your side. But their enemies are the machines, who are obviously seem like also good people, things. So but like, I don't know if it's possible. It's not always possible to play like the golden mean and always be nice to everyone. All right, so in this little compound, I've already kind of talked to all the people here. This character, you can see by their icon, is also a doctor, and they want the medical information, which is what I did on my main file. But I do know there's also a character over here who is the weapon shop, who also wants the information. So I'm going to see what happens when you give it to her. Here's the diagnostic data you were looking for.
Great work, Rangers. Let me see. Yes, I see. I can make some tweaks to our bullet swaging process that'll create cracks in metal plating that can't be sealed with their current methodology. Perfect. As promised, you're entitled to a discount on my stock and an in-kind exchange of goods. Here you are. Next task. Call Wyman and let her know she won't see a line of this.
So you can see I completed the side quest. She's given me a bunch of grenades and a discount at her shop. On my file, I gave it to the doctor, and obviously very similar result, but gave me a bunch of medical supplies and a discount on her shop. So obviously it's a side quest, it's not as involved, but some of the main quests get a little bit more tricky, which hopefully I can show when I finish up this one here.
You bastards. You gave the data I wanted to forge. First thing she did after you left was call me to mock me.
I like how she's a doctor and she's like drinking a beer. Okay, she doesn't actually say anything. I guess that's just kind of like flavor text. It doesn't actually change what she does, like as an NPC. So here is the Reagan AI that we have been asked to get this implant, the module, to transport it into someone's body.
Exemplary work, Rangers. I really didn't think you'd manage to recover the module. But Ronnie said to have faith.
Oh my god! You've got it!
He also said you convinced those commie robots at the airport to give it to you of their own free will. I don't know why you bothered. Now, before we fulfill our side of the deal, we must complete the transfer. This won't take long. Valor! Prepare the transfer equipment and prepare yourself to receive the God President's holy essence. Soon you will be a living god.
Everything is ready, Mother Nancy Reliant. This will be the greatest day of my life!
Now this is a little bit ironic because now we know that he is actually going to die if we go through this.
Until the day when you inherit Saul Buchanan's throne. For then it will be the God President who sits in it, thus increasing the holdings of the Gippers 100-fold in a single stroke.
Yeah! My father always said I'd never be a great leader. Ha! I will be the greatest!
So you have a lot of different options here. The idea is that we want to capture this person, but we want to do it without getting these people on our bad side because they have a lot of power and influence. I'm going to go ahead and do the skill check, kiss ass, and lie, basically saying you need to follow our instructions exactly, which would give us the opportunity to do what the robots want instead.
Surprises me, Rangers. But of course, it's natural you would come around. This was Ronnie's divine plan. And you've seen the depravity of the machine commune. Valor, it's time. Now, Rangers, would you be so kind as to start? It will be the most delicious of ironies to have the Patriarch's emissaries give life to the leader who will eclipse him. Just connect the module to this council, and we'll begin.
So we can decide to attack at this point.
So I guess you're basically... Do you do what the Gippers want you to do, or do you do what the machines want you to do?
It's ready, Rangers.
I don't think I've decided quite yet.
All you have to do is push the button.
This is amazing! I can feel him! I can feel his mind all around me!
Ignore that. The safety protocols must be turned off for the transfer to begin.
What?
So here's your three-way approach. First of all, we could have already attacked them by this point, but by lying at the start, we can either just do what they want, transfer Reagan into Valor, we can give Reagan to the Machine Commune, or third option, transfer Reagan to the Ranger HQ. And this is actually what I did on my file. So this is kind of where it's like choose one, choose the other, or kind of backstab both of them. So this is what I did on my file. I'm going to go ahead and just see what happens when you just do what they want. No backstabbing, no lying, just let it happen.
Something's wrong! Mother Nancy! Stop the transfer! Stop!
Goodbye, Valor.
Nancy, I think it worked. I feel strange.
I'm here, Ronnie. Everything's going to be all right now. The God President and I cannot thank you enough for your service. Your actions have allowed the birth of a new age. Truly, you are the midwives of liberty. The prizes, as promised, are new weapon prototype and a president's ransom in riches.
So because I didn't do this in my file, I never got this stuff.
Rest assured, the rewards for helping us will be great and ongoing. The oil will flow as promised, and if the Patriarch troubles you for aiding us, we will come to your side. God bless you, Rangers.
So this might be a good option if you do plan on going against the Patriarch to have these people on your side.
Yup. Thanks.
Ronnie?
So what happens if you go
I'm
back to that
fine,
robot place now,
Nancy.
though?
They might be hostile.
fine.
I actually don't know. I've never done it. So let's see. I'm curious about that weapon that I got. Where is it? Reagan's Gaze. So I don't actually have this. It's an energy rocket. So basically a rocket launcher that's good against robots and vehicles. So I actually like that's the sort of stuff like not only do you role play in terms of being a character that you want to be or whatever, but specific routes will give you access to specific gear. So there's not always a best golden path.
I feel smaller.
I'm surprised it didn't like replace his nameplate.
Stronger. Like a foot in a good boot. Rangers, I want to thank you for your unwavering support of me and my Nancy's and the good old USA. You're my kind of people.
That's really not him now, is it?
Hi, hello.
You killed Valor when the
Oh,
Patriarch
hey.
specifically told you
What's
not
going
to.
on?
You actually caught us at the end of a casual mode video. So Josh has stepped
Hi,
in just
hello.
at the
What's up?
tail end here. This is Wasteland 3.
Surprise cameo at the
Yes.
very end.
And normally we've
We
wrapped
just
up
so
recording
Josh,
by this
so Josh,
point.
we just put Ronald Reagan's AI brain into another character to piss off the robots. Okay.
Okay.
Makes sense?
That sounds.
That is,
this game sounds okay then. Okay.
All right. So what we saw here is basically this person, when you have other characters in your party that have their own inclinations and motivations and ideals, this person, we have to talk them down because they don't enjoy, they're not agreeing with what we're doing. Mother Nancy said she'd release her claim on Valor once the transfer was complete.
Nancy, what are these jokers talking about?
I said I'd release my claim on him, Rangers, and I have. But Ronald Wilson Reagan is his own man. If he doesn't want to leave, then we'll support his decision.
And I'm not going anywhere. Not when I've just reunited with my wife. Wild horses couldn't drag me away.
If that's what you want, Ronnie, the Gippers are behind you 100%, with all the fire and fury at our disposal.
You'll catch this a couple times where they deliberately use like this patriotic language. So you can try to arrest, just let it be, or attack. We're just gonna let them be.
You're good people, Rangers.
So I wonder how that how this
Happy
affects
trails,
the game going forward.
partners.
It doesn't seem like the transfer went perfectly because he stutters all the time.
So basically, you saw a couple times there in the upper right, the reputation bar go up, and I basically happened to do everything they wanted. So I'm actually surprised that this isn't higher. Well, it says loved. So these are all like the different factions in the game. To be honest, most of them are kind of assholes. Like the 100 families are basically
So
a
just
bunch
like
of
real life.
Yeah. So the 100 families are a bunch of like snobby elitists that want to consolidate power. The marshals are kind of like this law-keeping force that are obviously corrupt. The Gippers, you've seen them. They're basically patriotic fanatics. And then
So I guess the machine commune is not like a faction, like not like a bespoke, deliberate, written out mechanical faction, but I'm sure you can still like pick them off.
I don't know.
Like they're not like measured.
But in my file, I ended up managing to arrest this guy without having to turn the Gippers violent by transferring Reagan to HQ. Or you could have just killed him. Or I guess I still just killed him, but now I killed him by replacing his brain with Ronald Reagan. So
I wonder what would happen if you arrested him and brought him back to his dad, and his dad's like, "Well, what,
yeah, I'm
what
sure.
the hell did you do?"
I feel like that is definitely an option you're supposed to be able to take, is return him home, but he's Ronald Reagan now.
I know I came in late, but were there any other options besides Ronald Reagan's for a replacement brain?
No, the options aren't which brain you replace. It's basically what do you do with the Ronald Reagan AI. You can either just, I guess, not transfer it to anyone. You can transfer it to the machine so the consciousness can be free. Or you can give it to the HQ and not support these people.
Okay.
So it's kind of like the decision you make is where does it end up going. So one thing I haven't shown yet is that, so we pretty much, there might be a couple more little side quests or events that you could do here if I went through and talked to everyone, but I wanted to at least go onto the world map at least once so you can kind of see Yeah?
I like the clown head on your tank.
Oh, right. This is the classic case of that's the best gun I have, and it's ugly as hell, but I'm going to use it. Wearing the gear that looks awful, but...
That's something out of
stylish. Yeah. So you're going to the world map?
Yeah, and it's not a typical interpretation of a world map. I'll show you as soon as this loading screen goes through. But yeah, the game is it's not like sandboxy. You can't go anywhere at the start, but it's pretty non-linear where you have a lot of say in what you know. Like you saw when I talked that machine intelligence, it commented on a couple side quests I'd already completed, but I could have probably, I think in both those cases, come here before doing that. But it would have maybe affected what I would have been able to do here. All right, so this is the world map.
Hey, cowboys. It's Dead
Oh,
Red talking at you again. Come back on our private channel, yeah?
Sure.
Heard you pushed Val out of his own brain. Clever move, cowboys. Congratulations. You managed to kill the boy, 'cause let's not lie, that's what it was, without pissing off the Gippers. And you don't want to go pissing off the Gippers. Not when they control all the gas and oil in Colorado. And now Val won't be wandering around like a prize bull, giving people ideas. Boy never was the sharpest tool in the box, but any kid with Buchanan for a last name could be dangerous with a smart operator behind him. And those Gippers may be crazy, but they ain't dumb.
How did you know about
this? You know
this?
that old song, The Night Has 1,000 Eyes? Well, so does ol' Angie. I got an ear at every window and a finger in every pie. Now let's talk about the other one. Damn right I mean Vic. Whole lot of innocent people have died thanks to that psycho son of a bitch. He's killed men just to check if his gun is loaded. You'd be doing the world a favor if you made sure he wasn't in it anymore.
So she's basically just pushing me towards the next objective. Sounds like he deserves
and
it.
How? And I ain't just being vindictive. From a, political perspective, any child of the Patriarch is a destabilizing force on the region. If you want peace in Colorado, the Buchanan brand has got to go.
So in the larger picture of the game, the premise of the game is you're getting the Patriarch's children. He asks you to bring them back to him. But this Angela person basically saying, no, just kill them all.
Yeah, so this outcome for this place, she's actually totally on board with. Because you said you took out this dangerous person, but you didn't get this faction against you.
You killed Valor, but you didn't actually kill him. You just changed his brain with Ronald Reagan. Makes sense.
I'll be talking to you. Dead Red, over and out.
All right, so I forgot I had to do that. This is the world map. Let me open it up. So it's not huge. It's not like this giant thing that's going to take forever to go across. You see, I've been to 8 places, and if you extrapolate out, there might be 8 more.
So you're the little steering wheel up there?
Yeah, Kodiak.
Okay.
Tells you which way my camera is facing. And yeah, you start out here at Colorado Springs, and you can't, like I mentioned, you can't kind of go anywhere at the start.
Better feeling than being loved, is there?
The radio just gives you some ambiance. Sometimes it just plays music, sometimes it's just chatter based on how far you are in the game, characters you've met, but you can turn it off. What I was saying is that there's some areas where there's radiation, so until you have the hull plating that can withstand it, you don't want to go there. Like here, actually. Perfect. I did not plan this. There's radiation here. I think I have level 1 rad resistance, so I can go somewhat into these areas and be fine. But eventually, if I end up going too far, I might see that my character start taking damage.
Well, your map shows some red stuff here. I don't know what that means.
I think that's just the radiation symbol.
November. I received an urgent message from a distraught local currently being pursued by bandits. Are you ready to receive?
Seems like a perfect place to set up camp.
Yeah. And then when you go near certain areas, certain side quests like this will open up.
The victim is Kim Hai and her sister. They're being pursued by bandits, though details were scarce on enemy ordnance. Kim has indicated that time is a critical factor.
What are they paying?
Nothing if they're dead. They're on the move, sending you coordinates. Time is of the essence, Team November. Over and out.
And this game doesn't have like a day-night system or anything like that, but it does have some way of keeping track of how much time it takes to get to a certain place. I don't know if it's quests completed or what, but the way that they put the emphasis there, I'm guessing for this side quest, if you don't go there, you might end up losing your opportunity to save them. Anyways, I was really just hoping I'd go far enough into a radiated area and start taking damage, but this must just all be low rats. And then this is just a generic event where you can come. It's the JRPG random encounter, but I can use a survival to just avoid them. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to give you an idea of what the world map looks like. Each of these areas, like Denver was where I'm coming from. Then there's a Union Station that I haven't been to. The Ghost Town, I think that's the one I just unlocked for the quest that you just heard the dialogue for. These other places I've been.
So this is like a hub world for all the different locations.
Yeah, okay. I mean, they call it like, or not they call it. It's the world map basically. It's just kind of it's presented in a way that's just slightly different from other games, and it's kind of interesting, kind of different. There is a little bit of gameplay in terms of how good your tank is, how much health does it have, how much rads.
Like where you can go, right?
And then if you do want to go into a random battle, it can actually assist you, and that's where like the gun comes into play and things like that.
Which is why you have the clown head.
Yeah. And if you go certain areas, there'll be like robots. I'm just gonna click through that. There'll be like robots prowling around and things like that, protecting certain areas of the world.
So if I had to go to Colorado right now, is this what it looked like?
Yes.
I think
I've never been, so I have to make that assumption. In this game, I forget if I've stated this, but it's obviously post-apocalyptic, and basically each state is like its own country now. Oop, I'm just gonna avoid this. Like, and even if you go into the, I guess you can't see it here, but when you pick up money, it actually says Colorado dollars. Like, not US dollars, Colorado dollars.
My name is Bo Hoon, and this here
Currency conversion must be really fun in this world.
So this guy is mad at us because I never saved his family. Floor it, run over him with your car before he gets a shot off. Kid got spunked, disarm him and let him go. Only assholes may come over an orphan's dead family. Assholes like you, apparently. And then I say, inbreeding did worse things to the Hoons than we ever did. I'm just going to disarm him.
I'll find you again.
No, I ran him over. It needs that, every time these random encounters happen in this open world, it needs that Final Fantasy, like, transition screen like that.
I'm actually not certain. Like, because I've avoided most of them using that survival skill. But anyways, I don't want to get too in the weeds. I just kind of wanted to show what the world map looks like. It's kind of got this pleasant art style. It really does kind of look like lonely and desolate. Obviously, there's only so much you can do from this perspective, but I think it works just well for the setting. So when you do kind of find these little, hovels of civilization, you kind of learn to really appreciate them. But yeah, that is Wasteland 3. Josh, you're not aware of this, but you kind of came in at about the hour mark, so...
okay, that's fine.
So it's no problem. I just kind of want to give this as a game like this. It's kind of hard to give a vertical slice. So I know that this video went on a little longer, but to kind of show the rate of progressing quests, of going into a couple battles, and just transitioning from area to area, is kind of like that's a necessary time scale needed to show all of that. But yeah, it came out about a month ago. It's still a little bit buggy. But I guess they have been releasing patches pretty frequently, so hopefully those all get kind of cleaned up, if not now, soon. And I'm playing it on Game Pass, so if you are subscribed to that, you have access to it. Otherwise, it's on Steam or whichever console you prefer. So I know this is a little bit different from what we normally show on casual mode, so maybe next week we'll do something different again. We don't know yet.
Maybe we'll go back to another indie roguelike.
Hopefully not.
Well, we haven't done Hades yet, so maybe Hades.
Maybe. We'll see if George is up for that. But anyways, we will see you next week. And until then, take care.